Welcome to the first episode of the Coaches Show. I am Mitch Morelli, women's golf coach and interim SID, joined with first-year head coach Sean Kirk of the women's basketball team and fourth-year head coach Joe Wallace of the men's basketball team. We'd like to start this week's show with game recaps. We're going to start with the women's basketball team. Sean, last Saturday you guys opened up the season with a season opening win, 52-49 at Bethany. Our first season opening win since 2008. What seemed to work for the Lady Barons defensively to hold a good Bethany team to 49 points?
So what we did was we put a 2-2-1 in leading up to that game, and then we dropped back into a 2-3 zone. Really, we just scouted Bethany really well. We did a couple things with our 2-3 where one of the top defenders would follow the cutter through to the short corner to really distort their offense. And then the 2-2-1 gave them, when they got it across the timeline, it was, 22, 21 seconds constantly on the shot clock. So they didn't have a lot of time to operate, and we were able to shut them down and close out the shooters. And our bigs did a great job on the defensive glass.
Were you guys trapping at all to the 2-2-1, or was it more of a clock busting?
No, it was one of those vanilla 2-2-1s where you're just taking time off the clock and hoping to have a shorter time clock or a shorter shot clock for the offense, and it worked like a charm.
Right. Also, Abby Byral went off for 21 on 7 of 10 shooting. What could you say about Abby's performance?
I mean, I told Abby countless times. I've called her out in practice, telling her that she can be an all-conference player this year, and she really rose to the occasion on Saturday. She was 5 of 6 from 3, 7 of 10 from the field, and everything was just falling for her. And she hesitated on her first 3, and I told her just to let it fly. And I think she got that message as the game went on, and you could just see her really open up. And she was excited once those shots started to fall. She was in the zone.
Then we fast forward to Tuesday night at home. Tuesday night, we hosted Chatham for our home opener. Did not come out on the right side, 74-47. What's the team's takeaways from that game? And moving forward, what are we working on to improve?
Actually, we're in talks with Bethany to see if we can make that our home court with as well. We shot it there. But no, we got great looks all night against Chatham. Their 3-2 zone did give us some fits, but the looks we were getting in the middle of that zone were great, and they just weren't falling. So, we're going to do a ton of shooting this week in preparation for Grove City. And, we're just looking to turn the page and get that one out of the way.
What are your thoughts on Chatham overall as a team, though? They had some pretty nice shooters.
Oh, yeah. Our 2-2-1 back into a 2-3. We kept it vanilla. We did trap a couple times, but Chatham shooters were tremendous all night. And once a couple went in early, they were they couldn't miss. And we went on a couple runs, but they always had that answer. They had a great player, Emily Undo, who's a graduate transfer, and she played out of her mind and just as smooth as they come. So she was tough to contain, and then you try and double her, guard her tightly, and then it just opens up the floor for their shooters, and that's what we ran into.
Yeah. All right, let's transition over to the men's basketball side with Coach Wallace.
Thanks, Mitch.
All right, Coach. We started last Friday.
You want me to be positive? Or you want me to be real? No, I'm joking.
This is going to be a tough question, but we'll see what you got for me. Last Friday, W&J, home opener, live crowd for sure. We came out on the wrong side, 64-66. The tough question in the room that everyone's asking is up 7 at half, 19-0 run to start the second half. What's your thoughts on what happened, what went wrong second half?
Yeah, well, before we move on, I want to thank everybody that came to the game, especially the students. This place was looking out at the court right now. It was pretty special. It's kind of taken off since last year of our students really rallying around this team and the local support we've got. And we've got to match you guys going forward, the student body, whoever's at the games. The crowd was unbelievable. We got to match you with our play, our intensity, our passion. wasn't there like it was last year, and we've got to get back to that, which we will. Next Wednesday night against Grove City is going to be big. I mean, they're the team that ended our season last year in the ECAC tournament, so we're going to really want to have as many people as we can in here again. And again, from all of us, thank you very much, and we really appreciate that. But the 19-0 run, let's go negative now.
Yeah.
What went wrong? What went right? Nothing went right, to tell you the truth. So there was there was some shots we missed during that stretch that just the chance of it happening. There was some weird plays in transition defense. They made some tough shots. We started pressing, like not in terms of basketball terminology, but just forcing the issue. But once we kind of got settled back down and we started figuring out what we could do with taking advantage of our size on them, you could see the turnaround. We do have a good team. I mean, we really do. This is going to be a fun season for these guys, but we got to get back to what got us there. And what we do is we play elite level defense. We're physically stronger than a lot of teams, and we make 50-50 plays, and we didn't against W&J. Even when we crawled all the way back and we took the lead, we didn't make those plays like we did last year down the stretch, and that's going to take time. We've had an interesting preseason with a few guys being hurt. 4 of our 5 starters at one point have been out of practice, so it's kind of been a slower in terms of trying to get our style of play put in, and we're going back to what we've done in the past right now and trying to get settled back into the half court and becoming who our identity was last year.
Yeah, that's good to hear.
It's good for everybody, huh?
Yeah, it is. I did want to touch on some of the positives from Friday night.
Yep.
Sean Hickey scored 20 to lead the team. Drazen Frankovic, a newcomer, scored 15. Any thoughts or comments on their performances or
yeah,
the other
Sean.
players?
Yeah, Sean. If we can get Sean looks, I mean, he's going to be consistently scoring in high double figures like that in 20s. He might be the best shooter. We could say he's probably the best shooter in our conference. But he's more than that. He understands to play with pace, and but we got to do a better job as coaches and as players of finding him when he's available, especially in transition. Drazen, he hasn't scratched his surface yet because he's just back at it. He doesn't even know what he's doing half the time out there, but he can still go out there and give you 17 and 10. So we're going to have it's going to take time with him still on the defensive end, but Drazen's been a huge upgrade, and we need to get him and Matt Trent playing together at a high level, and Matt's been banged up, so he hasn't been 100%. That's been part of that issue. But Matt will the two of them will become a nice tandem when their minutes are together on the floor.
Yeah, for sure. Definitely that high-low could be a threat for sure.
It could be.
Also, on Tuesday, 2 days ago here, you guys did travel to Walsh for an exhibition game. The score was definitely lopsided, a little ugly, 110-52. But as a coach, what are the teaching moments you take away from playing a Division II don't want to say powerhouse, but a pretty good D2
You
school?
Could say that.
Yeah.
You could say that, Mitch.
Yeah.
No, I'm joking.
They're legit. They're legit.
They're
legit. They're good.
They're good. I mean, before the game, they got their conference. They went to the tournament, NCAA tournament last year. They won their conference. They had their ring ceremony. And what happens in a game like that is if you make a mistake, especially the way they were playing. Sometimes you go into a game like this, and that team might sleepwalk for a little bit, and you kind of hope they do because then you can throw the first punch. And we never had a chance to do that. But if you make a mistake on whether that's a scouting report or whatever, make a wrong read offensively, they'll take advantage of it, and they really did. So there's a lot of teaching moments there. There's certain, like we went into the game, we really wanted to force them to, especially on the defensive end, to earn their baskets and not make mistakes and give them anything. Yeah. And we didn't do a good job of that. And it's something that you can correct. And I think there's a lot of issues that came out of that game that we're going to continue to work on, but watching video and correcting mistakes in a game that doesn't count is always nice, especially when you lose like that. So at the end of the day, doesn't affect our record, and I like playing up like that. I want to play the Division I, Division II teams as much as we can every year because it's a chance to step on a bigger stage than we're used to against a better athlete, and as I told our guys, better coaches too. So it's good for the whole program.
Yeah. Thanks, Coach. Me and Coach Wallace are going to step aside now for Meet a Baron, as we like to spotlight one or two athletes each week here. We've got one athlete from the women's basketball team this week. We have freshman Amelia Brennan all the way from New Hampshire. So, Coach Kirk, we'll let you guys take over here now.
How you doing, Amelia?
I'm good. How are you, Coach?
Awesome. Thanks for joining us today. We have a couple, 14 to be exact, rapid-fire questions. So don't even think. Just first answer that pops into your head.
Okay.
All right?
Yep.
You ready?
I'm ready.
Number one binge show.
This Is Us.
All right, that's great. Favorite summer hobby?
Going to the beach.
Love it. Favorite meal?
Pasta and garlic bread.
Ooh, what kind of pasta?
Just normal.
Just regular pasta.
Yeah, regular
Yep.
pasta.
Favorite place on campus?
I feel like I have to say the port.
The
port.
Okay,
The
I
port.
thought
Or
with
the-
me
or the
sitting
gym.
here, or
The
yes,
gym.
there
The-
we
the
go.
gym.
That's yep.
Definitely the gym.
Close second. Cat or dog?
Dog,
What
obviously.
kind? Obviously.
Any
Why
kind.
obviously?
Dogs are better.
Yeah, I agree.
Any kind.
What is your dream job?
Well, I'm in nursing, so to be a nurse.
There you go. That's awesome. If you had to drink one drink the rest of your life, what would it be?
Coffee. Easy.
Coffee, easy.
Yeah.
Iced or hot?
Iced.
Yep, I'm with you. If you had a superpower, what would it be?
I don't know. Probably to read other people's minds.
That's a good one. I said flying, so that's more
That's pretty
creative than
good,
mine. Favorite holiday?
Christmas.
Favorite Christmas carol?
Ooh. They're all
There's
good.
so many, right? Yeah,
Yeah.
but you got to pick one.
Okay. I don't know, anything that Michael Bublé sings is honestly.
You can't go wrong, Michael Bublé. Favorite city you ever visited?
Boston.
I knew you were going to say that one. Favorite social media outlet?
Instagram.
Of course. On a scale 1 to 10, how good of a driver are you?
I like to think I'm an 8,
Okay.
but my siblings say I'm like a 5.
Okay. How good of a driver is Coach Kirk? On a scale 1 to 10.
2?
Oh, wow.
Maybe 3. 3. Okay, no, it depends on the day, honestly.
What is your middle name?
May.
Is that your favorite month?
No, it's
Okay.
July, 'cause it's my birthday.
And the last one, if you could be an ice cream flavor, what would you be and why?
Mint chocolate chip, because it's the best flavor.
And you're the best basketball player on the court, right?
Yeah, obviously.
There we go. Everybody, that's Amelia Brennan, all the way from New Hampshire. Amelia, thanks for coming on today. We really appreciate
Thank you.
it.
Thank
And
you for
I'll
having
see you
me.
at practice later today.
Yeah, see you later.
Awesome.
All right, next up we have questions from Twitter.
Oh, boy.
Some questions will be pertaining just to Coach Kirk, some to Coach Wallace. First one is to Coach Kirk from @JeffFrank22. What was the biggest transition from switching over from the men's side to the women's side?
Oh, wow. Biggest transition. I feel like on the women's side, we have better communication between, first of all, player to player for sure, and then also coach the player. It's much easier for me to communicate with the women than it was for me to communicate on the men's side. And then also, I feel like we're a lot more loose, and we can have a little bit more fun in practice. That's something I've noticed. Maybe it's the other coaches that I've worked for, as one sits down to my left. But we just have a ton of fun in practice, and it's been translating the games, and our players are playing loose.
Yeah, that's good to hear. A question for both of you. We'll
me go
start with
first?
Coach Kirk. Yeah.
Okay.
How has the transition been from an assistant to a head coach? You being the first year, Coach Wallace, you could answer a little bit on this as well, being a younger head coach. Start with you, Sean.
The amount of little things that you have to worry about that you don't as an assistant. As an assistant, I was, scouting reports, recruiting, making sure players were happy and everything. But now it's, scheduling gym time here in Finnegan, which is a great place to play and practice. But you have so many different things going on as we look out over the court now, to doing, things such as these events, which are a lot of fun, coaches shows and all that. So, yeah, that's been the biggest change, is just realizing how much goes into it that you don't necessarily see on the day-to-day as an assistant. So,
Coach Wallace.
Coach Kirk, everything changes. It does. I mean, you're in charge of everybody, the whole program, every decision that needs to be made. You put it all on your shoulders. You take everything in stride. Every day is either when you're practicing or games or whatever, you take everything extremely personal because it's your mark. You set the tone for the day, practice, the game, the way your team's playing, the way they're acting, everything. That's why I'm rambling right now because it's daily, every little thing that you do. So it's a big difference, and I think you learn a lot about yourself and you learn a lot about how you can manage with different stresses. And I think the biggest thing is not to bring certain issues that come up during the day to the rest of your team. You got to be able to shoulder your stresses, whether something happened with the player heading into practice or there's a disagreement about something. And once you step on the floor for practice, you got to put on a facade sometimes, and you got to be able to lead. And I think that's the biggest adjustment, I think, as being a head coach.
All right. Thanks, Coach. The next question from Dr. Susan Poyo. How are you able to live out your faith while coaching these students? Also, what encouragement do you offer to these student athletes for integrating their faith into their athletics?
That's a great question, especially coaching here at Franciscan. I mean, that's our number one job, and I mean, Coach Kirk will have a different answer with integrating faith. With young women and young men. Like with our guys, we try to make it into. We try to implement things daily. I mean, we pray before practice, which is, that's as easy as it gets. But we've added Saint Jose Maria Escrivio, his book The Way. We try to read a different passage out of that. We did a pilgrimage after our Walsh game. We try to just add things into daily life from our end, because when you have a group of guys and they're all in their different level in their faith journey, I think you have to kind of take it in that stride and make things comfortable for everybody and make it their own. And that's been my biggest thing, is I want everybody's faith life to become their own and they take ownership in it, and it's not a forced thing from us. And especially being here at Franciscan, they're gonna I think it's easy to grow in your faith here, and we want them to be able to walk out of here in whatever it is, 4 years, 3 years, 2 or 1, and be able to be a leader in your faith and be able to bring others to their faith.
No, that's excellent. We pray before practice. We also offer practice up every day, and games. We'll offer it up for someone or something, or a group of people. Every day in practice. And then our players have done a great job, especially Amelia, who was just here, has done a great job talking with the seniors, and doing, organizing holy hours. In the preseason, they would go on campus runs, and then they'd go to daily mass at 6:30 a.m. Like those types of things you don't get at any other college. And we went to a festival of praise together as a team, which was super. I told the players it was super uncomfortable for me, because I'm not I'm not as charismatic about my prayer life. I'm more of a holy hour, write it down type of person. But to be able to go to that, and I huddled them up afterwards, and I said, look, I don't care if it's UConn, Notre Dame, Benedictine, Ave Maria. No women's basketball program did that at all. No, and not a lot of teams will do go to a festival of praise together. And it was an awesome experience, because as I'm looking around and watching, my players, pray together, it was pretty impressive. So just integrating that into every single practice and every single thing we do, at the end of the day, that's what it's all about, especially at a school like Franciscan.
And our last question here from former student athlete here, Carlo Fabian, more directed to Coach Wallace here. It is, who is the best dressed assistant coach?
Oh, wow. That's been an ongoing Twitter battle since probably last December, I would say. And I've kind of followed, and I've been, I hear the rumors and rumblings and the tweets. So I would say last year, let's just go through the whole summary of this. Last year, I think, Anthony Santangelo brought it home. I think he was the best dressed last year. Now Anthony has grown as a coach and as a man. He's starting to not worry about the fluff. He's starting to take after his leader a little bit here, and so his game with the cuts is dropped. which is good because he's focused on what's really out there. So he's not even involved in it anymore. He's like me. He doesn't care. I used to care how I looked before a game, but I could care less. I don't even wear a tie half the time, so doesn't even matter. I'm going to be like Bob Huggins here in a couple years and just
Sweatsuits are getting
sweatsuits.
ready.
So Anthony's out now. He deferred, and he'll probably tell you the same thing. So now you got Martello, Adam Martello, and his highbrow lawyer giddy up he wears, and everybody knows what that's about. But we got a new guy now, Aaron Foldy. Aaron Foldy coming in. They don't think I noticed this, but I know what they look like. Aaron Foldy had a nice J. Crew coat on for the Walsh game, and I think that was pretty sharp. He looked good. He's looking good, and he's really young. So I think when you're young, you want to look good. Yeah. But I'm gonna blow everybody away on this one.
Oh boy.
Coach Tommy Bynum has brought it through 2 games so far this year. Yes. He really has, and hopefully he never hears this because we won't hear the end of it. But that's the truth, though. He's brought it. He's looked really good. He's in better shape than those 2 guys right now. He's lost weight. He looks refreshed. He has his trips, to the southern states of the United States, and he looks good coming back. And his cuts are good, man. He looks good right now. I'd say Tommy Bynum is the best dressed. And John Pizzuti, he's our classic fall and speed guy where he's not gonna rise or fall. He's consistent every day. So yeah, but Tommy Bynum, number 1 right now.
Number 1. That is definitely gonna shake up the Twitter
ranks. Definitely gonna shake it up. That's what we're here for.
All right. We are going to move on to our last segment, which may have been prompted on the board behind me a little bit ago. But we are going to be doing a whisper challenge with Coach Kirk and Coach Wallace. For anyone not familiar with the whisper challenge, as in Coach Wallace, we are going to have one of the coaches with headphones on and very loud music, not being able to hear the other coach, as the other coach will be trying to whisper and or say or like mouth the words to the other coach and try to get them to guess it.
I thought we were talking about the Steelers-Browns game tonight. Yeah, I didn't know we were doing this.
We could have definitely previewed that. But yeah, the only hint I'll give you guys, they are nouns. They're not phrases. I'm going to head over onto the controls. You guys can decide who's going first as we get set up here for the Whisper Challenge.
Back to the first annual Barron Basketball, Women's Basketball, Men's Basketball Coaches Show. We're going to start the first ever Whisper Challenge. And Coach Kirk can't hear anything right now. That's why he's laughing. He's got, I think he's got Christmas music on, correct? Yeah, we're getting ready for Christmas. And so I got words here, names, I don't know. Coach Morelli put these together, and I am going to whisper them, and Coach Kirk is going to have to guess the answer. So are we ready? Coach, are you ready? Are you ready? I can't hear. This is great. So, what do you? Never mind. I was gonna have fun with this. All right, first one. Ready? First one. Giannis Antetokounmpo. I didn't even say it right, did I? No. And that's what's the problem. This is how I'm gonna do this. The Greek Freak. The Greek.
Loki.
Word number 1. The Greek.
The
Freak.
Frog.
You're getting there. We're getting there. Greek.
How many words?
We're going to say 3 words. Ready? The. Good. Greek.
Train.
I can't even say the word. Never mind. We're moving on. We're going to move on. All right. Here we go. We had that. So, you ready for number 2? Yeah.
No way was I getting
no, I couldn't even say it. So, all right. The second word. Oh, jeez. Okay. Mike Krzyzewski.
Mitch.
Mike Krzyzewski. Mike Krzyzewski. Coach K.
Ocean.
Ready? Coach K. Mike Krzyzewski.
Mike? Mike? Is that it? Did I get it?
No, that's
One more. Oh, it's a name.
Yeah, name. There you go. Mike Krzyzewski. Coach K.
Coach.
Coach
It's a coach. Mike
K.
Krzyzewski.
There we go. Yes, there we go. Good job. Yes, that's a good job. There we go. All right. What? What is this? Oh boy. There's no way we're getting this one. Edamame beans. There's no hints like edamame beans.
Two words.
2 words. Second word, beans.
Pete? Pete Rozovsky.
Yes, moving on. Oh, he's no way. All right. Edamame. Edamame.
Mommy?
Close. All right. We gotta move on. We're moving on. That one's too tough. That's too tough. Pulling a plug. There's no way we could have gotten that one. All right. This is. Oh, jeez. All right. Worcestershire. Worcestershire sauce.
Sound it out. Slower.
You can't sound it out because if you pronounce it correctly, it doesn't sound. So war. Yes. Worcester.
Worcester sauce?
Yeah. There we go. That's the upset of the year right there. That's some great communication skills. Handling pressure at a high level, and understanding how the game works. So we're going to wrap this up. Thank you.